Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Leslie. Happy Friday. So, today I'm going to give you uh, I'm going to make some coasters, but I'm going to give you some different choices on how you would like to do it. If you don't have a sublimation printer or you don't want to invest in fancy stuff, you can make coasters without it. And so that's what we are going to do. Okay. I have three alternatives. I have a Chalk Couture coaster done with ink. I have a Cricut Infusable ink coaster. And I have a sublimation coaster. There is another way to do it, and that is on wood, but we're not going to cover that today because there's a few steps and it would make the video too long. I will, however, promise you that we will do some sublimation on wood in the near future. So, what do I need? For my first coaster, I am doing the Chalk Couture Ink one only because I went online to make sure, I haven't done them in a while, that it says to use your heat at 310 for 30 seconds, and the infusible ink and the sublimation print are higher temperatures than that. So start at the lowest and then, heat up. Now, if you were doing this, if you choose this method with the ink, you can also choose, instead of using a heat source, a heat press, an iron, you can choose to do it in the oven. And that would be 300 to 350 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. And please, please, please make sure that you don't touch them once they are hot without gloves because ceramic coasters get very hot. So what do we have to do to prep? Well, I am going to set the temperature of my Easy Press to the 310 that it asks for. Could I do this with an iron? Possibly. I have tried before. And unfortunately, I didn't get the best results. I think because a normal iron um, does not have consistent uh, heat to it. So this spot here might read 310, but this spot here might be 285. So, you got to kind of think about that. Now, I'm going to take you down to the very messy tabletop. So here we go. And let's get our coaster ready while our heat press warms up. Now, what I am using is simply an Easy Press. It is not the new Easy Press number 2 or 3 or 10, whatever it is. It is the original Easy Press. I am using rubbing alcohol to remove any oils from skin and so forth. Just making sure it's nice and clean. And I will do this with each and every coaster. Then I actually still take my lint roller and go over it just in case. And using my still damp cloth, I will just do that again. So now I will set those aside out of the way. What I am using today is the one called Coffee Time, okay? And it says, but first coffee. So what you want to do is you just want to peel it off, just like so. Oops, sorry guys, it's taking me a second to catch it. That's what happens when you trim your nails down. I'm going to de-lint it, or lint it. I fuzz it, whatever the words are you want to use. And I'm going to put it directly onto my coaster exactly where I want it. And because I fuzzed it, I can easily take it off for repositioning. You heard that the easy press is ready. And I think it's 30 seconds is perfect, like it said. So we will lay this down. This is very simple. I want to stress, however, that it is not chalk paste that I am using, but ink. It is called Chalkology Ink by Chalk Couture. Now, other companies may make some. I do not know, but I had these ones on hand, and that is what I am doing, is using what I have. So there we go. We've got it well laid out, and we are ready to grab our squeegee and give it a good go over. Oops, ink all over my finger. Just one moment, guys. Okay, guys, I had to change my choice of color because the other one was just not, it was too old. It was just not going to spread. So I went to my pastes or my inks and I grabbed a package of Chalk Couture ink in the color, oh my goodness, Couture Coil. Couture Teal. Oh my goodness, words hard. Very, very hard today. So there we go. Now, that is that. I am grateful to have a glass mat because all I have to do is wipe that up. Wipe that off so that I don't have this on any of my other coasters. You want to be very careful about that. And now you're just going to peel up slowly both sides. I did not fuzz enough apparently, but that's okay. We will get it. There we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Wow, it really was not fuzzed enough. There we go. Now, I will set it back on here to clean in just a bit. I do have my cleaning sponge. I will wipe my fingers to be sure that I am not having any issues with ink transfer. There we go. And this part is done. Now what you want to do is grab your heat gun and dry it. And I will explain in one moment. I did forget to grab my heat gun. I will be right back. And here we go, one heat gun. Now the reason you're drying it is because you're going to want to cover it with a protective sheet in order to press it, and you do not want to smudge it. Okay, so you're partially setting it with your heat gun. You could, if you needed to, use a blow dryer. I will show you this up close as soon as it's dry because I do not want to smudge it. Now this is not set by any means, but there we go. But first, coffee. I love that. I'm going to dry it for another minute or so. And this is the only one we need the heat gun for. Oh, no, 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 don't go off. Stay on. So I will move this aside also, and I'll put it away later. And now I need to grab, I'll set this over here on my tray so that I can deal with it. So now I just need to grab this, and it says, move heat press during the process or iron if your design is larger than the heat press, which ours is not. So here we go. I have a heating pillow or pad. I have a protective cover. I have my ceramic coaster and another protective cover. I set my heat, on top, and I push the green button. I don't need to give it pressure. I just don't want it to be moving. So here we go. And 30 seconds makes it so that it is washable. It is waterproof. It is scratch proof. So you should be able to enjoy it for a long time to come. And done. So there we go. Oh, now see? You almost caught me. We have it hot and completed. So that is how to make a coaster using our our Chalk Couture inks, okay? So it wasn't hard, not by any means. I'll set it here on my silicone mat because it is still hot, and we'll get ready for the next one. Now I think the next one I do will be the Infusable ink, and I'll show you that. Actually, you know what? I can do both of these at once. Okay, so once again, I went on to Cricut, to the heat guide, and it says to heat my easy press to 360. Whoops. And it says to set my timer. Are you ready for this? For 300 seconds. So this is going to be a much longer press. I am hoping that it works for my sublimation. It is what it calls for also. So we will see. And that is my timer set. Okay. So now it says to place the design face down and liner side up. So when you look at Infusable ink, it is a stiffer paper with a liner on the back, and it wants us to do this. Face down, liner side up, and I did cut it bigger than the circle on purpose. Okay. So let's do this. Oh. You guys should be yelling at me today. Wow. Come on, guys. First things first, I will show you this. This is the Cricut Infusable Ink Box. It comes in a variety of styles and designs. It does give you a quick guide there. It tells you what temperature to press at. And it shows you a before and after. Because when you look at this, it's dull. But when you press it, it should be nice and bright and vivid. So what did we forget, guys? You guessed it. We are going to clean both of these. Now I will move this out of the way. And we will get both of these cleaned up. I need another piece of paper towel. Chuck the old one away. So here we go. Oh, my back's so sore today I can hardly move. Alrighty. Let's clean this up with the rubbing alcohol. And then with the lint roller. Whoops. And we're done with that one. And we're just going to grab back our piece of paper towel, which is still a bit damp, and just take off any sticky that we might have from the lint roller. We'll put the lid on here, and we'll get a few pieces of heat tape ready. So if you were to be doing these projects, even if what you're using is an iron, you still want the heat safe tape. This one happens to be some Cricut ones. You can use any brand. They're all good. As far as I can tell, I've tried a few brands off of Amazon. I've tried the Cricut brand. They're all working for me. So the choice is yours to which one you want to use. So as it says, you're going to take this and you're going to place your coaster where you want it. And what I am just going to do is turn it upside down and take my tape, which I did nice long pieces, just like so and like so. Now guys, you can also use Infusable ink on t-shirts, on mugs. I've definitely used it on mugs, on anything pretty well that you can do sublimation on. Now this is a sublimation print made on a sublimation printer, or an Epson converted to sublimation, using sublimation ink and paper. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay it down. I just want to get some idea of where I want it. I'd say about there will be good. We're going to turn like this and just give it a couple of pieces of tape. This is not like a mug or a, what am I trying to think of? Tumbler, where you really have to go tape heavy. As long as you're holding it in place, you'll be okay. I am going to place them side by side just like that. And because I am afraid of a bit of blowout, I am going to go and grab a piece of cardstock and I'll be right back. Now, before you ask what I mean by blowout is I'm afraid that I will have excess ink come off. And so if I set it on the paper, I am not going to ruin my mat here. Okay. So here we go. We're going to put this on here. We're going to move this over. I'm going to set this directly on top. No movement. No weight, and hit the start. I'm only holding it because it's slippery. And we have to do the 300 seconds. Okay. I have not done, nor have I researched sublimation in an oven because I do not have a toaster oven or a separate oven to do it in. And of course, you're not going to want to sublimate in an oven where you cook your everyday meals. I should let you know, for safety's sake, I do have the window open. Not necessarily the Chalk Couture ink, but the sublimation items, ink and infusable ink, can give off an odor. And so I'm erring on the side of caution, and I have a window open. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause while this counts down, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are coming down on our last 5 seconds. I am a little nervous here, guys. I can't lie to you. There's a lot of smoke. And I am beginning to think that maybe, just maybe, it was a little too long. But as I said, I did take the instructions off of the site for Cricut. So now I'm going to leave these for just a couple of seconds here. I'm going to turn off my heat press. And I'm just going to leave these here for a couple of seconds to cool. And hopefully this one has cooled. So we have that one. Now, some of you have asked me before about why I would do sublimation when I do like the Cricut Infusable ink. The answer is quite simple. Infusable ink gives you beautiful designs. You'll see that. But at the same time, what happens is you don't get the detail to the design. I'm not sure how to describe it. I guess because I want to be able to take a picture of my dog or cat or whatnot, and I want to be able to put it onto something. And that would not work with infusable ink. What you get is what you get. You can cut it into shapes and into words and so forth, but you can't change the design. Alrighty, let's check out the infusable ink one and see what we got. Oh, guys. So there is what it looks like. Oh, it's hot. Before you sublimate. And here is what you get afterwards. Isn't that gorgeous? So that is infusable ink. And I'll show you the paper after, and you'll see what I mean by blowout. So we'll just leave that there. This is our sublimation, and this is the one I'm worried might be a bit burnt. And it is not. Guys, this turned out gorgeous. Once again, there is the before. And here is where all that ink went. Isn't that gorgeous? And then, of course, we also did our Chalk Couture. So, what are the differences? These were both done at the same time and temp, which was 360 for 300 seconds. This one was done at, the Chalk Couture was done at, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right facts, 310 for 30 seconds. Okay? 310 for 30, 360 for 300 seconds. Do you see how we took what looks like a photograph and we put it on here? We've got a beautiful coaster here, but we could not take this piece of paper and turn it into that. What you get with your ink is what you get on those transfer sheets, okay? That does not mean that they're not great, because they are. You can see that right there. And I'll show you what I mean by blowout. The excess that was around these pieces ended up on there and would have ended up on my pressing mat, which I did not want to happen because I want to be able to continue to use it. Now, like I said, if you do not want to invest in something like an easy press, you could try an iron. I cannot guarantee the results. You could look up and try an oven. I cannot guarantee the results. You could, if you really think you're going to go places with this, you could use a big heat press, like a clamshell or one of them. Now, I've already gotten a message asking me, why didn't I use my big heat press that I used the other day? Sadly, it has gone the way of the recycling center. Not because I didn't love it, I really, really, really did, but because the temperature monitor, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what the technical term is, went insane. And so I couldn't set a temperature on it anymore. It would go way above or way below, or it was just, it stopped. And I mean, it's a few years old and I didn't pay a lot for it, but have no fear. There is another one on the way. Do not take this as a promotional ad. It is definitely not. I am not just a Cricut girl. I know they are not the be all and end all of the crafting world, but they were on sale, so I got a Cricut AutoPress. And we will be using it for AutoPress projects. So there we go, guys. 3 ways we can do this. The 4th is to use wood, and I need to myself do some more research on that, cut some out, find some designs, and then bring it forward to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it inspired you to maybe try something new, or taught you that maybe you don't have to invest in a sublimation printer to make beautiful things with sublimation, because all 3 of these coasters are sublimation coasters. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk with you on Monday. Bye.